What is going on, CH family? I hope you all are having a wonderful day, either if you're watching this live on the Facebook group or on YouTube. If you're on YouTube, make sure you subscribe. Today we're going to be talking about 4 simple ways on how you can start living a healthier lifestyle. I'm sure there's at least one of these tips or ways that you've never heard about, so you're going to want to watch till the end. So the very first step, we're going to jump straight into this, the very first step here, and as always, if you have any questions for me, just drop them down below. But the very first step that we want to take here is respecting our inner clock. Now, when I say inner clock, what do I mean by that? Well, let me start this out with a story. So if you take yourself and you go into nature, I don't know how long exactly, but if you take yourself, you take all artificial lighting, everything away from yourself, and you go into nature for a certain amount of time, eventually what's going to happen is that you're going to have a reset. And your body's going to start waking up with the sun, going to bed as the sun goes down. It's pretty crazy, but it's just how it works. So one thing that messes us up as people is artificial lighting. Artificial lighting can ruin your inner clock, your circadian rhythm, and that's important because it's how our bodies function. It affects our sleep, our melatonin, our cortisol levels when we have certain amounts of strength, our testosterone levels for mainly guys, many things behind this. So that's number one, is respect your inner clock. Okay, and the simple way to start respecting your inner clock is, number one that you can do is that to eat on a 12-hour time frame. Okay, what I mean by eating on a 12-hour time frame is, like, let's say like I have my first meal, and this is what I do too personally. Let's say I have my first meal around 8:30 p.m. or sorry, 8:30 a.m. Okay, my last meal must be done before 8:30 p.m. Okay, so if I have my first meal around 8:30 in the morning, then my last meal has to be done at 8:30 p.m. Okay, the reason why is because that's a 12-hour time frame. So that's step number one to respecting your inner clock. Number two is when it comes to the lighting side of things, so artificial lighting, everything like that, you want to try to live as natural as possible. So when the sun comes up, you want to try to wake up with the sun. When the sun's going down, you want to try to get ready for bed. One of the biggest things, again, that ruins us in our hormones, our energy levels, the whole 9 yards, is artificial lighting. Okay, so a few steps that you can take when it comes to nighttime in the evening is you want to make sure, number one, is you don't eat about 2 hours before bedtime. Number two is, I wear blue lens glasses. I've worn these for years because I literally stare at a computer for 12-hour plus days. So I wear these for my eyes, but you can also wear these at nighttime as well. But the next thing you can do is, if you're watching TV, if you're on your screen or something like that before bed, try to be 10, 12 feet away from it, quite far away. Stay off your phone as much as possible. Try to get off the phone about an hour plus before bed. Same thing with the artificial lightings. Open the windows up, let the moonlight come in, but take the lights and turn them off or turn them down or very dim, because that's going to help with your melatonin. That's going to help you with your sleep, and respecting that inner clock. Okay. So that's the biggest thing, is trying to respect natural lighting. The next thing as well, when it comes to number one with our inner clock, is the same sleep schedule. Okay, so you never want to stray away about an hour and a half to 2 hours away from your typical sleep cycle. So that means if Monday to Friday you wake up at 7 in the morning, you go to bed at 12, or you go to bed at 11, wake up at 7 in the morning, we'll say, right? You want to try to do that on the weekends as well. I know a lot of you, or a lot of people in general, typically, mostly younger people, honestly, typically wake up or sleep in on the weekends, right? So it's Monday through Friday, they'll wake up 7, in bed by 11, but then on the weekend comes around, they'll wake up around 11:30 or 12 or something like that, and go to bed at 1 or 2 in the morning or so. And yes, you can do that if you want, but if you want to have the maximum efficiency, if you want to feel better, your hormones functioning better, your cortisol and your body's natural, rhythm, inner clock functioning better, then try to stay at the same times when you go to bed and you wake up. Specifically when you wake up, to help you stay in that routine. Okay? So number two, the next way that we can start living a healthier lifestyle, a very simple tip here, is sticking by the 80% rule. And what I mean by this 80% rule is typically just 80% of the time, whatever you're consuming in your body, make sure it's healthy. That's it. That's it. If you can just do that, that's going to help you tremendously. Okay? So what that means is that 80% of the time, at least, what you're drinking water, healthy things you want to consume. I just say stick to water about 90% of the time, honestly, but at least 80% of the time, water. Number two, real whole foods. Invest into yourself. Spend that extra couple dollars or so on real whole foods, and that doesn't mean that you have to buy like the actual, organic. Like, yes, in a perfect world, we'd want that, right? Non-GMO, we don't want none of that crap, the pesticides, all that stuff, because it's ruining our hormones, especially like guys, if you look at the actual rates of their testosterone levels and stuff, but everyone in between. Okay, it affects our hormones tremendously. So yes, in a perfect world, non-GMO. But also, I understand if you don't want to. So what I would recommend for you to do, and this is what I do, is just buy, real whole foods. So foods that like from real animals, from the ground. Things like that is going to help you so much. If you can just stick to that and eat real nutritious foods, because here's the thing, refined foods, yes, it's so much cheaper, but also you're not getting any nutrients. It's fake. It's all crap and it does nothing good for you. Okay? It just fills you up, good to go. So again, if you can try your best, these are just ways that I live my life, help our clients live as well. And it's worked. So 80% of the time, if you can just eat well, real foods, that's going to help you so much in so many other ways. It causes a massive ripple effect. Okay? So that's the 80% rule there. A few little pointers that you can focus on with the 80% rule is more protein. So that means like in every single meal, you want to be getting more protein. Make sure you're drinking enough water. Again, real whole foods. Okay. Same thing with your greens, fruits, everything there. The next thing that we got here, number three. So this is going to be number three. This is going to be quicker training today. So number three this is super important. It's super important if you want a permanent transformation in your life. Okay. So if you want things to stick, if you want things to last, this is going to be the most important one that you have to focus on. Okay. And this is building your mental callus. So do something every single day that's going to push you to grow, stress you. Okay. The reason why is because what happens when we are in those stressful environments and we are pushing ourselves to grow constantly, it causes neuroplasticity to go on. What that means is that it allows us in our brains, the way we function with our neuron connections, create those pathways, it allows us to create new pathways and to create new patterns in our minds. Okay, so when we're stressing ourselves and we're really working on building a new habit, if we're working on building a new skill, learning something, that stresses our mind, that causes neuroplasticity, so that way we can learn more. Okay, we can learn better, we can learn more, we can grow stronger, and just get better overall. Okay, and a mental callus is so important because here's the thing. Let's say you take like an egg or something like that, right? And you're traveling along and there's these walls. It's like the egg is going to hit the wall and it's going to break. Okay, it's not strong enough to break through that wall. But if you take, let's say, like a brick or something like that, or something, an egg with steel around it, and you push it against the wall, it's going to break through the wall. And here's the thing, on your weight loss journeys, these walls are going to come up on your journey. It's going to happen. You're going to face barriers. You're going to hit plateaus. You're going to go through life events where you're going to want to go back to your old ways and get comfortable again. But here's the thing is that always remember that doesn't serve you. If you're genuinely trying to get healthier and make a transformation happen in your life, then remember that old self, it does not serve you. That's who you're trying to get away from, right? So in order to change, there's going to be a little period of uncomfortable. Okay. And it's, you're going to have to go through that little uncomfortable period where you're swapping out your habits, where you're changing your actions. You're doing things where you don't necessarily want to do every day, but you got to do them in order to get to the other side. And through that path, there's going to be walls and barriers. And it's important that we have a strong enough mental callus to keep us going, because it makes it so much easier. Because I promise you, if you do keep going, you will get there. It's just how it works when it comes to this. When it comes to transformation, weight loss, the whole 9 yards, right? Because that's why it's so easily explained, right? Weight loss is so easily explained, yet it's such a hard thing to do for so many people. And that's why, because we have to break through those mental barriers, those walls that are going to come up, that are going to be uncomfortable sometimes. So work on that mental callus. So little things that you can do, just some examples: cold shower, test yourself, right? Do things that are uncomfortable. If like I know yesterday, my girlfriend and I, we went to the Fundy National Park, and just trail where we live where you can go, and it's a beautiful place. And the water was super, super cold. And like, I'm not the type of person who likes cold water. And she jumps in, and I went in as well because it's just like, okay, you know what? It's going to feel awesome after, and it's just a test you, right? Get a little uncomfortable, and that's going to help you grow tremendously. Okay, growth only happens outside of your comfort zone. Okay, so that's the next one there, and a few other little things again is reading. Let's say you're not an advocate reader, like you don't like reading much. Push yourself to read. Self-development, personal development, learn about nutrition, fitness, whatever it may be, whatever you're passionate about. Just make yourself do it. And that way you can build that discipline, that mental callus. Meditation, help you control your mind, your emotions better. That's another thing that you can do for your mental strength. The gym, that could be another one. Okay, working out, that's another one. Challenge yourself, push yourself though when you do work out. Little things like that. Okay, that's going to help you tremendously. So try to do something like that every single day to help stress you and push you to grow. And I promise you the payoff is 10x. So the next thing here is, last one, is watch what you consume. Okay, I don't think this is talked about much, but I think this should be talked about well more often because your environment is who you are. Everything around you, if you look around you and what you have, it is a part of you. I got bikes in the corner. I got a BMX. I like tricks. I like, that adrenaline rush and that sketchiness of trying tricks. I also got a mountain bike because I love going down the hills. I love biking. I love activity, being fit. My office here, I got my dream board, my goals and stuff because I'm all about that stuff. So it's like, watch what your environment is, because if I had, let's say, depressing quotes everywhere, and I had, the color of my wall was like a depressing color, it was black or something like that. The color in here is beige. It's not too exciting, right? So we got to fill it up with pictures and stuff. But if I had things like that, it's going to affect me. It's going to affect me. Your environment affects you so, so much. So it's like, when it comes to your environment, that's like the things you're consuming on television. Like, get off the news. The news is just propaganda, and it's going to stress you out and make you worry all the time for no reason. Okay. So listening to other people. Okay, the people in your circle is one of the biggest ones. If you're around a bunch of complainers, if you're around a bunch of people who gossip and talk crap about their other friends, guess what? When you're not in that room, they're talking about you. Okay, they're gossiping about you. Do you want a friend like that? Probably not. So it's important to separate yourself away from it so that way you're not around that environment. And then that way you get your power back and you can choose who is in your life. You can choose who you spend time with, what's around you. You can attract that into your life, okay? So be very careful with what's around you. Paintings, pictures, the social media, who do you follow online? Like, I know this is a huge one, especially for women, is like, following all these all these supermodels and models and stuff like that. And a lot of people too online, y'all, they edit their pictures, okay? Editing their pictures or using drugs and stuff to enhance their bodies. But anyways, we shouldn't compare ourselves in the first place to anyone else, right? If someone wants to use enhancing drugs, sure, go ahead. But don't compare yourself to anybody else. Compare yourself to the person in the mirror, because that's what matters at the end of the day. But what I'm trying to say here is that, if we always have these photos and we're following these people and, all they're posting is this good stuff about their lives, we're going to compare ourselves to them. And then we're going to look at our own lives. Why don't I have that? Why don't I look like this? Why don't I have that? And we're going to start, complaining about what we don't have, and rather than being appreciative for what we do have. Okay. So control your environment, because that will affect your mental health so much. I cannot stress it enough. Okay. And that's basically the training for today. Literally 4 little things that you guys can do. Okay, so watch this quick training. Apply these 4 things. I promise you, this is going to impact your life. You might not see it overnight. Most of the time we don't when we make these amazing changes. But over time, you do it often enough. Guess what? It's going to shape who you are. Okay, 4 months from now, you're going to look back and be like, "Holy crap! I'm a completely different person. I think different thoughts. I act differently. I have a new friend group. I treat myself differently. I have more respect for myself. The whole 9 yards. You're going to feel a lot better. Okay? So, 4 simple ways of living a healthier lifestyle. If you have any more questions on this topic, drop me down below in the comments. If you made it this far as well, make sure you leave a smiley face. And I hope you have an amazing day. And remember, start today for a better tomorrow, because every second that you put into your fitness journey, every second that you put into prepping your meals and getting that stuff done, I promise you, it is 10x better on the other side. Okay? The time that you put in now for it is going to pay off tremendously. Just the opposite. The time that you don't put into your health and your fitness right now, you're going to have to pay for it in the future. So choose what you want to pay for, okay? You want to pay for it now, spend the time, focus on yourself, getting better, so that way you can live the rest of your life, not worrying about your health, and having the energy to explore the world, not having to pay for medication, not being in a hospital bed, things like that. It's the real deal, okay? So start today for a better tomorrow. Remember, it doesn't have to be a diet. Diets don't work. It doesn't have to be this crazy 0 to 100 approach. It's just about you progressing and getting better and creating a healthier lifestyle. And as long as you get the little things right, as a side effect, the scale goes down, okay? Your body will change. Your mental health changes, the whole 9 yards. But you gotta start and you gotta take action and you gotta stay consistent. And if you need that kind of help, that kind of real help there, then shoot me a message, because that's exactly what we do. We specialize on customizing every single thing around our female clients here to help you optimize, your hormones, your health, lose weight, but make it a lifestyle so it's actually permanent once and for all. Okay, so if that's something you're interested in, shoot me a message me CH for details. Typically what I do is I just hop on a quick call with you. If you are interested, we'll break down your case and see if we can help out. If not, I'll just send you some free resources or send you off in a different path. But if that's the kind of help you want, shoot me a message CH and we can look at that. But other than that though, again, remember, start today for a better tomorrow, because it's the best thing you'll ever do for yourself. And leave a smiley face below if you made it this far in the training. Have a great day, CH family. I'll see you later.